Hello and welcome to Making It Manufacturing Spotlight Series. I have the pleasure of being joined by David Stevens, CEO of Kindeva. David, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good man.
It's been a long week.
Has it? Okay, save the best for last, I'm sorry.
Yes, definitely.
David, just for our listeners, I just want to talk a little bit about your journey to recently becoming CEO of Kindeva.
Great. I'm delighted to be the CEO of Kindeva. I think it's one of the most interesting CDMOs in the market right now. I joined 3 years ago. Prior to this, I was the CEO of a small startup that was subsequently acquired by Recipharm. Joined because of our vision for what we were doing, particularly in the Bridgeton facility, where we're building one of the best sterile fill finish injectable facilities in the world. Really excited about that. Spent most of my career in sterile manufacturing in some shape or fashion, and the difference that technology can make in making sure we make safe, compliant medicine that's really one of the key drivers for why I joined the company.
Nice. So, ex-Scottish heritage, moved across the pond to the US.
Yep.
What kind of led you to kind of becoming the CEO today?
Sure. Sort of a funny story. Things kind of go back to Milton. All roads lead to Milton. So Milton Boyer, who was the previous CEO, is a good friend. He acquired the business I was running in Scotland in 2014.
Yeah.
And subsequently became the vice president of sales and marketing for the division, which was sterile manufacturing within AMRI.
Yeah.
And so the AMRI went public to private 2017. Milton he probably made some money in that and said he wanted to do something else. He left, became the CEO of SCA Pharma, and suggested that I should be promoted to the president of the division. That was 2017. The option was, if you want to do that job, you have to move to the US. Mm-hmm. And there was lots of things happening at the time. There was the UK potentially leaving the European Union.
Of course.
And candidly, the weather in Scotland isn't great. So Boston didn't sound like a bad option. We moved 2017. Stayed with AMRI for 2.5 years. Had really good success with the drug product division. And through actually someone who's now the chairman of Kindeva, we decided to set up a new startup CDMO focused on advanced biologics. So microbiome, mRNA, plasmid DNA. So it was really interesting. 0 employees. And we built that up to kind of 250 employees.
Amazing.
During COVID.
Yeah.
There was a point where I was thinking I might miss my cushy job at AMRI, but it was an incredible journey. We built a really amazing advanced biologics facility, and then subsequently that business was acquired by Recipharm.
Yeah.
So something I'm really proud of. When you work in a big company, there's a lot of things that are done for you, and you don't really have to think about them. When you realize that you have to empty your own waste paper bin while you're building this facility and there's dust everywhere, it's an amazing experience. And so I wanted to test myself in a different environment. I wanted to learn about biologics, drug substance. Yeah. And so that was really what drove me to take that risk, and the risk worked out. And so, I love working with, I love finding people and talent.
Yeah.
I've hired a lot of people in my network into the company here, and one of the nice things when we did a startup was sitting with a blank piece of paper saying, who have I met in my career, customers and other CDMOs, people in the industry, and getting the opportunity to say, hey, we're going to build the best possible team here. And
love it.
Phoning up customers I'd worked with and saying, really enjoyed working with you. Do you want to come and do what we're doing here? And it worked out. And so really like the US.
Yeah.
The winters are a little long in Boston compared to...
The food's better?
Is the food better? I know the Americans tell everyone the food's better. I'm not sure I'm buying that, to be honest. But I definitely think Boston's a great city.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest differences in the US, there's no way I could conceivably have done the Aranta Bio thing in Scotland. It's really difficult to raise money there. There's so much ambition and not to say the American dream, but I think that you can make things happen in the US that you probably can't do in any other country, which I think is one of the best things about being here.
Yeah, I completely agree. David, just for our listeners then, you've recently come into being CEO at Kindeva. What's the most exciting part of that? What's the future looking like?
The most exciting part is, so I had a month where it's like, okay, I'm the CEO now, and that feels weighty.
Yeah.
But it's exciting because I think we get to shape the company, and I think genuinely feel like we're making big strides every single day.
Maybe.
What am I most excited about? I think the last few years we spent a lot of time working on the foundations of the company, and we've been spending a lot of capital by any company's stretch.
Yeah.
So 26, 27, 28, 29 is when a lot of those assets come online. So we're supplementing the foundational science, experience, facilities that we've got with some of the best facilities and capabilities in the market. And if I'd sort of take the sort of two main focuses of the company is really around converting a lot of the meter dose inhaler devices. So from the existing propellants to the low carbon propellants. I think there's a number of things. I think not least sustainability.
Yeah.
We're really excited about genuinely helping the environment. The reduction in the CFC emissions on these products is like 80, 90, 95%.
Kindeva's gone green. I think that's nice, isn't it?
Kindeva's gone green.
Yeah, gone green.
So that's really exciting. But I think
amazing.
most pertinently, there's 1 billion units of MDIs made in the world.
Yeah.
If you look at the capacity that's being built, there's probably 300, 400 million in the entire world that's being built. So what we're doing is preserving patient choice.
Yeah.
We're going to be by enabling the market to continue to make these products. It means that people have become reliant on their inhaler, don't have to move to a different device or a different type of medication. So that's really exciting. I think we have incredible know-how and expertise in the company, and being able to leverage that with customers and patients is a real privilege. I think the second thing that's really exciting is the Bridgeton facility. I think there's almost not a week goes by you don't hear about a sterile manufacturing facility having challenges.
Yeah.
Again, having the opportunity to sit down and say, hey, how do we create the best-in-class facility that doesn't just meet Annex 1, but makes sure that we're future-proof for the long term, was a really exciting opportunity for me and for my colleagues. The facility we're building there is Annex 1 by design. So the facility layout is purpose designed to make sure that we minimize, mitigate, eliminate, where possible, all sources of cross-contamination risk in the facility. The second piece is that we've been able to use technology, advanced robotics, to really address the biggest source of contamination risk, which are people and interventions with the product. So as an example, we've been able to make sure that we have inline filter integrity testing as part of Annex 1 requirements around PUPSIT. We've been able to use advanced robotics to do that without having any operator involved in the grade A environment. So I think obviously we're a business, but the most important thing for us is we're making safe, reliable medicine.
Yeah.
And when we partner with customers, we know they're giving us a lot of trust to make sure that we can reliably supply. And so taking advantage of technology, even though that technology is very expensive, we feel really good about what we're offering the market. Every year, I think there's 65% of molecules in the pharma pipeline are biologics. Every year that goes up by a couple of percent.
Yeah.
And so biologics are generally parenterally administered. So we believe combination of picking up the slack from suppliers who can't meet the requirements, as well as the increase in demand for mAbs and peptides and other similar modalities. It's just a brilliant opportunity for us. And we're really excited about being able to address what is a strategic challenge for medicine. It's not just hey, we have an idea for business. This is something we really believe in, and that's our mission.
You mentioned trust earlier, you know,
Yep.
with your partnerships and your clients. How important is that in quite a competitive CDMO landscape at the moment?
It's everything.
It is.
And I would say we've met with a lot of potential customers this week who've been let down
Yeah.
by their suppliers. I think there's always problems. And I think early news, bad news early, quickly,
Yeah.
and being able to work through issues. Everyone has issues. It's how you deal with them. And most of the time, if you can work through things, be transparent, that actually strengthens the relationship. But I think when it comes to the foundational, there's certain elements which are, patient safety and compliance, ethics, morals. They're non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Businesses, despite the fact that AI and technology are dominating the news, business is done like this, eye to eye, and I think it's really important that people trust you.
I much prefer it in all honesty.
For sure.
So do you feel like is companies potentially where they're promising too much and not being able to fulfill it rather than having that honest and trust relationship where the kind of differentiates?
I think I never want to say anything about other suppliers. I do think there's always a tendency, it's a really capital intensive industry.
Yeah.
And there's always pressures to fill capacity. I think what we have done, we've been really clear as we bring on the new capabilities, or when customers say, hey, we need as much as you can make. I've always counseled my team to, yep, we will want to do that, but we have to show the glide path and how we do those things. So I think we know CDMOs are, particularly in the US for steriles, they're overbooked. That puts pressure on tech transfers. It puts pressure on them. And so we've been really clear. We don't want to overload the facilities. We want to do things sustainably.
Yeah.
I think particularly given that we are a relatively new company, it was just a funny thing to say because the constituents of the company have been around for 70 years. But because we're a new presence, we want to make sure that our brand is seen as being reliable, trustworthy. We don't want to have an interaction early on where people say, those guys aren't not doing the right things.
So important to build reputation as well.
For certain.
Okay, brilliant. And I guess I'll finish it off, David. So, you're a few months into being CEO. If we were sat here in 5 years having a conversation, what would be, the best case scenario?
The best case scenario. So I think there's always a tendency to look ahead. And I've been asked this week about other technologies and inhalation. I think for us right now, we're extremely focused on narrowing the focus of the business. We've recently sort of split the organization into two verticals. So one is inhalation technologies, which covers the meter dose inhaler, some development work for nebulizers and DPI, as well as nasal, which was an acquisition that we made a couple of years ago. We have the parenteral division, which is ostensibly auto injectors, as well as the sterile fill finish. Within the company, we feel like we've built a lot of capacity for organic growth. I think over the next 3 to 5 years, I think when I look ahead, we see these new green propellant products coming onto the market 2028. So it's not 3 years sounds like a long way, but it's really not. And so I'd be really thrilled if we're making 150, 200 million units of green products by 2030. That would be us realizing one of our key ambitions. For Bridgeton, we've installed around about 200 million units of syringe, vial, and cartridge capacity. Again, we are walking into that now. We've signed our first clients. I look forward to, in 3 or 5 years' time, talking about adding additional capacity and new lines there. I think we're obviously private equity owned, and so there will be a financial exit at some point. As a management team, we don't focus on that. We're focused on building a really great business that makes a difference to patients' lives. And so, we're really focused on building a world-class business. And I say this to my colleagues and the company a lot. When you spend 5 years, 10 years of your life on something, it's a meaningful portion of your life. And so you want to make sure there's a legacy involved in that. And that's what I'm focused on. I want to be able to sit back when I'm retired and say I was involved in something that really made a difference. So, yeah,
Amazing. You've answered my last question, so I'm not going to ask it. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
David, really exciting time for yourself and Kindeva ahead, and I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers.